What if a simple coin flip lies at the heart of statistics, machine learning, and even finance? Let's explore Bernoulli trials. A Bernoulli trial is a random experiment with two outcomes. You have either the probability of success, p, or the probability of failure, which is 1 minus p, because those are the only two probabilities you can possibly have. A Bernoulli trial is something you either pass or you fail. You're innocent or you're guilty. That's the way you have to think about a Bernoulli trial. In the case of the coin, it's heads or tails. In the case of any other thing in real life, such as testing whether or not a light bulb is going to go off, it's either going to turn on or going to turn off. It's binary. It's yes, no, failure, or success. That is the basis of a Bernoulli trial. And a Bernoulli trial follows a binomial distribution because a binomial distribution models binary outcomes. So here we have the binomial distribution. There you go. And the formula for n choose k is here. Where that formula comes from, it comes from Pascal's triangle, things like that. I could derive it, but I don't think it's relevant to this video. But that is exactly what you're thinking about in the back of your head. You think of Bernoulli trial, you think of binomial distribution, and you think of that equation. That's exactly all you have to think about. And so here I have written some code that will simulate 1,000 flips of a coin. And those flips, obviously, it takes 50%. It is 50% to flip a head or tails. It could be either, but I've labeled it proportion of heads here on our graph. And if we run this code, we can clearly see that as the number of trials increases, the number of heads that we get will tend towards the probability of us getting a head. So our expectation of heads is equal to the probability that we get. The proportion of heads that we expect to get is the probability of our heads. And you can play around with this. I'm going to put this code in the description so you can mess around if you want to see, if you want to increase the number of flips to say 1 million. There's that 10 million. That's 10 million, I think. If you want to increase, it'll take a little longer to load, but there you go. There, you're basically tending towards 50% of having heads. And that's exactly what you expect to happen. If you want to, you can change, you can keep the number of flips the same, but you can change the seed. We talked about the seed earlier in a different part of a course, in a different part of the course. We talked about how the seed will generate the same number of samples or the same samples every time, but if you change the seed, you will always get a different sample. And I go more in depth on that in the course. So here with this seed, it looks like it's not really happening all too well. It's not really tending towards 50%, but obviously with more trials, it should go to 50%. Yeah, just like that. So if you want to take a look at this code, you can go into the description below. I will have a repo which just has this little bit of code, and you can play around with it and take a look at it. If anybody is interested, I can make another video that is a little bit more practical, a little bit more hands-on about how Bernoulli trials are related to financial options. Yes, so during university we went over Bernoulli trials quite a lot in how we price call and put options in finance. And if anybody was interested in that, please leave a comment down below and say, let your voice be heard that you do want to learn that sort of stuff, because this video was just a really broad overview of exactly what a Bernoulli trial is. It's essentially just a binomial distribution. You have a Bernoulli trial, which you have an outcome of either a fail or a success. That's related to the binomial distribution, and if you watch the previous videos, you'll know all about the binomial distribution, and then the binomial distribution will help out with things in statistics, machine learning, and as I said, finance. If you are interested in more videos about that, I can upload them, but that is us for now. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day.